Welcome to Atlanta's Commercial Real Estate Show, brought to you by Bull Realty, the show for property owners and business leaders. Host Michael Bull brings you market analysis, advice, and opportunities around Atlanta.
Welcome to the show. One of the sectors around Atlanta that's been really hot is industrial real estate. As business has been booming, construction's been booming, and residential e-commerce still exploding, there's been a lot of industrial real estate increase in values, cap rates being reduced, a lot of new supply. Please welcome my guest today. It's Larry Callahan. He's with Pattillo Industrial Real Estate here in Studio One. Larry, you guys are in the middle of it. You're in the thick of it here in Atlanta in the Southeast with industrial real estate. What is going on? How much new supply? How hot is industrial today?
It is hot indeed, and I think it's as hot as it ever has been. In fact, I'm sure the numbers are record numbers for new supply. This year and the last year, according to various reports, we've put close to, not quite, but close to 20 million square feet of new construction in the market, and there's positive momentum. So who knows what the number? That's year to date, wow. Mid-year. That's in the last year, ended about mid-year. In 2017. So the whole year, when it is added up, we don't know yet, but I think it's going to be a number somewhere in that range, around 20 million square feet. And to put that in perspective, because you toss numbers out and people say, wow, that's a big number, but the Atlanta industrial market now is about 700 million square feet. So for a number of years, we did not grow very fast at all. In fact, it was sitting kind of dead in the water, after the recession. But now at a 700 million square feet, a 1% growth rate in the market would be 7 million square feet of new supply. So right now we're getting close to a 3% growth rate. It'd be 21 million square feet would be a 3% growth rate. We're living in an economy that's been trying to get to a 2% growth rate. Last quarter it went a little faster than that. We'd love to see a 3% growth rate. So it's not wildly outrageous to be adding 3% in a market that is in an economy that's growing at around 3%. But probably more importantly, and this is a national statistic, for the last 28 quarters, the demand for industrial has exceeded the new supply, and this is nationally. And I think the same, or versions of that, are holding true in Atlanta. We are putting a lot of new product out there right now, but we've got strong demand for it. So I don't feel like we're in one of those situations where we're about to put so much out there that we oversupply the market and there's nobody there to use it.
So how much of this new supply around Atlanta is spec?
Well, the numbers that I've seen recently, the last calculation I saw on it was 82%.
Wow.
82% spec. And that's noteworthy for those that really monitor the market and have watched it. As we came out of the recession and things started happening, most of what was happening was build to suit. People were being cautious about putting new supply out there, and they were putting build-to-suits out there because people just couldn't find the building that they needed. So it was, most of the market was going build-to-suit, but it has slowly evolved now, and the numbers have changed too. Vacancy rates are at lows, both in Atlanta and nationally, and they're at historic lows, and they're significantly below long-term trends. A recent number I saw said it was as much as 3% below what the long-term vacancy trend is. So one of the things that's happened from that is that rental rates have started to go up in the 4 to 5% range on a year-over-year basis. It's been a long time since we could say that,
yeah. And
I have to smile as a developer. It's not a bad moment.
That's right. So where's all this demand coming from? We understand e-commerce is hot. Is that where most of your demand, or are you seeing demand from other types of tenants?
Well, e-commerce is certainly the one that gets most of the headlines, and e-commerce is growing at about 10% a year, and that drives a lot of demand for new space. In particular because the e-commerce building, the fulfillment center that is kind of the standard building that they're looking for, that building has a lot of parking as part of what it has in it. And there's just not a lot of buildings that have the parking that they need for a big fulfillment center. So they have to go the build-to-suit route or a brand new spec building that has been targeted for what their needs are. So that's driving a lot of it. It's not the only thing that's out there. I mean, you don't talk about it near as much. The trend toward manufacturing growing. We are still an economy, we're still the biggest manufacturer in the world. Clearly China has been growing and growing rapidly, but we still build a lot of things in the United States. And exchange rates have been such that in the last year or two, it's actually been a boost to U.S. manufacturing for a lot of things.
Is the construction boom helping industrial real estate, or some of your tenants related to construction, some of your demand?
That's actually, I've been around for a long time in this, and I remember when there were residential booms going on, and that was one of the things that you look out over your list of tenants, and you would see a lot of people that were supplying carpet or cabinetry or other various things that went into appliances that went into the new homes. We are starting to see more of that kind of thing than we did for a number of years. It's coming back, I guess I would say. Those kinds of things have to be stored somewhere, and as the demand for them starts picking up, some of it are showing up in our buildings and other people's industrial buildings.
Yeah. So what else is new in these buildings around Atlanta? So they want more parking. Are you seeing higher ceilings? Are you seeing anything kind of new with sustainability or?
Well, the thing you see from a structural standpoint, and this has been going on for years, we really don't see many people at all build a building that's less than 30-foot clear height, if it's got any size to it at all. But the e-commerce type buildings keep pushing upward. Mm-hmm. Exactly where that number will get to, nobody knows, but it's a bet you got to make at the time that you're actually building the building. So a lot of them have gone to 36-foot clear. Some of them, nationally, you've seen some that have gone to 40 or more. So we haven't seen that as being the most common thing that's happening, but it is pushing in that direction.
How about, and we're all in this business in commercial real estate and residential, really, around Atlanta, dealing with increasing construction costs. Mm-hmm. Is that impacting industrial? Is there certain segments of that increasing still for you?
Yeah, I think we are seeing increases in construction costs. I would not say that has pushed really rapidly, and it's not causing a big problem at this point, but people that didn't build for a number of years and then have gotten back in the market are seeing significantly higher costs for that. And it's just driven by demand and the passage of time and steel, concrete. But we have been getting good pricing on buildings recently, which I think is a good sign. If it gets to the point where those kind of numbers start running wildly out of control, that's one of those things that starts chilling a market. So it's been pushing up, but nothing outrageous at this point.
And you guys also have Pattillo Construction, right?
Well, we've separated from Pattillo Construction at this point. Pattillo Construction is a completely separate company from Pattillo Industrial Real Estate, and we're actually using other contractors to do our construction. Pattillo Construction is doing third-party work completely. That's what they do now.
Is it just industrial?
Well, to the best of my knowledge, I think that's where they're focused. But that's a separate, completely separate operation, and they are doing well from all reports and things that I see in the market. Yeah.
Well, that's great. Well, Larry, thanks for joining us today.
Sure. Glad to be here.
And thank you for joining us on iTunes, YouTube, or the show website. Catch us next week.